Howdy ho and welcome back. Today's Boozy Bookworm episode is going to be different in a lot of ways. One being that I don't actually own the book I'm reviewing. I have read it, but I don't own it. Two, I do not have a wine to match this book. Rather, I have tequila because today's book review is To Kill a Mockingbird. You see what I did there? And if anyone knows me, they know I like tequila. And so tequila will always get a 5 out of 5. So the tequila is a 5 out of 5. However, today I have made it into a margarita because I'm not that ambitious to throw up tonight. And I know some of you might be concerned because I don't have the book. How am I going to do cover design? Well, I'm going to base it off this cover because this is the cover I had in high school. I do, however, have this book, which is Tequila Mockingbird, and it's honestly the best thing ever. If you don't own it, you should own it, but it's a bunch of different alcoholic beverages based off classic novels, and so this is a 5 out of 5. I don't know. So here are our main players. We've got Scout Finch, who is a girl, and we've got Jem Finch, who is a guy, and honestly I feel like those names should be switched. Maybe it's just me, but Scout is a better boy name and Jem is a better girl's name, but we won't get into that. And then there's Atticus, who is their father, and Dill, who is the friend of Scout and Jem. They live in Macomb, Alabama during the Depression. What a time to be alive, probably said no one. Their friend Dill is obsessed with this man nicknamed Boo Radley. His real name's Arthur, but his nickname is Boo Radley, and he lives in this house, and he hasn't been outside, as far as anyone knows. He's just stayed in the house, the perfect recluse. Much like all of us nowadays, so I guess we're kind of all Boo Radley. Scout goes to school because she is of school age, and she hates it. And she's like barefooted. She doesn't have shoes, I think. And so she hates school and she's not about it. And then Dill, the trio, Dill, Scout, and what's his name? Jem, decide they're gonna reenact the story of Boo Radley, and Atticus yells at him and he's like, you really shouldn't do that because that's rude. I should probably mention that this is the second margarita I've had, into which I added tequila to the already pre-mixed tequila mix. So this will be a bumpy ride, folks. Buckle up. And then Nathan Radley, who is the brother of Boo Radley, shoots at them, like with an actual gun. Shoots at children who are, yes, in his yard, but they're children. But I guess that's Alabama for you. Through this ordeal, Jem loses his pants, which I really just don't know how that happens, because a lot has to happen in order for your pants to come off your body in full. Anyway, he returns and he finds his neatly mended and folded pants hanging there over the fence, and he's like, oh my god, my pants are fixed. This is great. Also, a little bit before this, there's like a tree that's hollowed out, and Scout and Jem find presents in there, presumably from Boo Radley. And so around Christmas time, they once again find presents, and they're like, oh my god, this is great. And while that seems really great, because honestly, it's kind of sweet, Nathan Radley goes ahead and fills the tree with cement. That's just really excessive. I mean, I would nail wood over the hole in the tree before I filled it with cement. Lots of stuff happens in this book in terms of the Boo Radley relationship, which maybe I should touch upon, but I'm going to touch upon the other stuff, which the main point of this book is Atticus Finch is a white man, and Macomb, Alabama is a very racist community. And Atticus decides he is going to represent, because he's a lawyer, he's going to represent Tom Robinson, who is a black man who supposedly raped a white woman. And so he's going to represent him. And this, of course, baffles all of Alabama. And besides the fact that this black man is being accused of raping a white woman, wow, I don't even know what that first word was. Besides that already being extremely sad. Atticus's children, Scout and Jem, are getting bullied and harassed at school because their father is defending Tom Robinson, and they're getting bullied for it because heaven forbid that happened. Tom Robinson's trial begins and he's placed in jail because that's what happens when you're on trial. And a mob gathers to lynch him. It honestly kind of horrifies me what happened in our past, but this is why pasts are important. History is important, and classic novels are important. I will go to war on that statement. But anyway, a mob gathers outside his cell to lynch him, and it is actually Scout who diffuses the situation because she knows one of the lynchers, if you will, and she's asking about like how his son's doing and all sorts of stuff like that, and that man ends up dispersing the mob and gets them to go home, all because of Scout. Good for her. And in the trial, basically what is discovered is that Mayella, who is the white woman who, declared rape, accused Tom Robinson of said rape because she was coming on to him when her dad found out, and so she had to spin it in some other way because heaven forbid a white woman be attracted to a black man. Like, this woman really just accused an innocent man because she was ashamed and felt guilty for wanting to be with him. Even after Atticus, with like 99% certainty, really it's 100% certainty, but basically he proves Tom's innocence, the all-white jury, who is supposed to be a jury of your peers, and none of them are peers of Tom's, accuses him guilty. The night that he tries to escape and he gets shot down, and so Tom Robinson dies. And in the aftermath, Jem is kind of just doubting everything about like the justice system, because even Jem is aware that Tom Robinson was innocent, that he didn't do it, that Mayella is lying, and she still got away with it. And you would think that Bob Elwell, whatever the heck, who is the father of Mayella, would be satisfied with the fact that Tom is dead and they won the court case, and that would be good enough. But you would be wrong. Bob isn't satisfied, and so he is personally trying to get revenge on Atticus for even representing Tom in the first place. And so he tracks down Atticus's children after a Halloween party and physically attacks children. And who better to come to the children's safety but a questionable pedophile named Boo Radley. And Boo Radley jumps in and saves Jem and Scout, and he stabs Bob Elwell, whatever the heck, and he carries the injured Jem because, yeah, Bob ended up injuring Jem, and he carries him back to safety. And so really great on Boo. I'm sorry, I read this book and I'm still not convinced he's not a pedophile, but that's to be determined. So, and here's the thing, when the sheriff gets called, because obviously Bob is stabbed and some shit went down, the sheriff insists that Bob tripped over a branch or a fallen tree or something, and that's how he ended up getting impaled, and it had nothing to do with Boo Radley. So, meaning that the sheriff was in on it and knows that Bob's a POS. Boo ends up sitting with Scout for a while, and then he goes back into his house where he has always been. And basically the moral of the story is Scout has learned to not judge a book by its cover, and has learned to have faith in humanity, I guess. Cover design is gonna get a 4 based off the picture on the internet that I showed you, because I don't actually own the book, which maybe I should rebuy it, but I'm probably not going to reread it because it was good, but it's one of those books that you read once and it's fine. I kind of like that the tree is there because that's where Boo Radley interacts with Scout and Jem the most, and so I like it. Characters are only going to get a 3 from me because, like, I like Scout and I like Jem and Atticus and stuff and Tom and whatnot, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of development. There is a lot on Scout's part, but not so much on the other people's parts. Atticus, yeah, he's a great human being and like really well-rounded and accepting and stuff, but it's just not enough characterization for me. You've got each character has enough qualities, and that doesn't equate to characterization. Plot is a 4.75 because this is something that we all know has happened in the past that was never rectified, never dealt with. It's something that was very prevalent in history. It is a 4.75. I think this story is really important, and I think To Kill a Mockingbird is a good story for high schoolers to read, probably even middle schoolers maybe. But I'm not a teacher, so I don't do lesson plans. My friend Hannah does that, and I don't do that. Ending is a 4. I love that Boo Radley saves Scout and Jem from Bob, but I hate that Tom dies, because you want to know what? He was innocent. He was an innocent person, and he didn't deserve that ending. And so I know that that's realistic, but I hate it. But also, Boo Radley saving Scout and Jem kind of bumps it up. The book drop is going to be when Boo Radley comes to Scout and Jem's rescue, because he has not left the house. And yet, when Jem and Scout need it most, he leaves the house. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I think he's a pedophile because he's keeping way too many tabs on these children. It's a 4.5. Which gives To Kill a Mockingbird a 4.05, which is pretty good, all things considered. I don't have a book to show you. I do have this one once again, which I really think you guys should buy. It was written by Tim Federal. I'm not even gonna pretend to pronounce that name, so that was rough even in and of itself. So, love tequila. I don't know anything about mockingbirds, but I assume I love them, and it's pretty cool. I don't know. That is the end of the Boozy Bookworm for this week. Thank you for watching, and stay boozy, my friends.